Get something over there. Welcome in, latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Breton. Go by SEC Mike on the Twitters. And there he is, the late cousin, everybody's favorite cousin Shane. How's it going, brother?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Oh, man.
It was me. It was me this time. All right. I was celebrating the Tennessee win. You know, I did an extra lap. So, but no, I apologize for being late. How the hell are you, Mike?
Oh, well, I was doing good. Mm-hmm. I was doing good until I found out the rumblings down there in New Orleans, Shane. I feel like this is going under the radar. I feel like they don't want anybody to know about this. I'm not seeing a ton of discussion, or maybe it's just because it's February and people are focused on different things. But we got to get the word out, buddy, because the SEC is considering blowing up the championship weekend, and I think you're going to hate what they're proposed and what they may very well do.
What? I mean, what are they going to do here? I mean, I heard that New Orleans was important because potential expansion to the college football playoffs. I've heard rumblings. Matt Jones, he talked about this the other day about potentially a one Big Ten game being added to the schedule. That won't hurt. So it's almost like a free game. I've heard the guarantees that 4 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, so on and so forth. But I have not heard anything about championship games.
All right, well, we call that a little teaser, Shane, because we got some other stuff to hit on real quick. So I promise that's going to be the headline. We're going to spend most of the time on that. But real quick, Shane already alluded to it. You know, we got to hit on it. Come on. Biggest game. There's still a big game on right now, but we weren't going to do damn midnight show here. Tennessee, Shane, beats A&M 77-69. What a damn showing by that man there, Chaz Lanier, 30 points, 8 3-pointers, Shane, 8 3-pointers. Good Lord. This was the first time since 2007, Shane, that Tennessee hit 13 3-pointers against a top 10 opponent. Rick Barnes now has got a 50 career wins over top 10 opponents. Only 11 coaches can say that. So, man, what a performance there by your Vols.
Thought about bringing 3 beers to the show for Ole Lanier, you know? Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. After them first 3 dunks, I was like, damn, Tennessee's in trouble. But this was a good game. I mean, obviously, Lanier, you know, stole the show there, but this was a back and forth affair. Came down to the very, very end, and just unfortunately for them Aggies, Tennessee had too much, you know?
Yeah, and games like this would be big. Texas A&M and Tennessee right now are kind of jockeying for positioning.
Yeah.
We're going to be up there for the SEC basketball tournament. We hope to see many of you up there in Nashville. We'll be all over that thing. May not let us in the building, but we'll be all around. I mean, hell, it's all Broadway. It'll be a good time up there. But right now, Tennessee now, I believe, has jumped ahead of A&M. You want to be in the top 4, Shane, so that you don't have to play at all in the SEC tournament till Friday. You get the double bye. So both these teams right now currently on the outside looking in, but Tennessee did themselves a huge favor beating A&M, and now they've got the inside track, so to speak, against A&M to get to the top 4 seeds. Still got several games remaining to decide all that, but big win on the road.
Yeah, it was a big one. It was a big one for Tennessee, and this is what A&M's second loss in a row. You know, they're kind of reeling a little bit, but you know that's like the new norm, though. I mean, we got Bama. What's the score of that Bama game? I haven't checked it here lately, but
Kentucky came out on fire. They were whipping them, and then Alabama came roaring back. So. Let me check the score update right now. But last I checked it, Alabama's got the lead.
Yeah.
But not by 53-49. So it's a hell of a game right now.
Oh, damn, it's down to the wire too. So, I mean, they're trying to avoid 3 in a row. So there's been a couple of losing streaks here in the SEC that we don't like, but I mean, you do if you're a Kentucky or Tennessee fan, I guess.
And that number one keeps on rolling. Shane, I'm loving these social media posts by the Auburn people. Showed an old dog some new tricks. Auburn beats Georgia 82-70. And this game was actually a lot closer than that final score indicates. This was a really a back and forth type game. I think John A. Broom, Shane, 31-14. He may have locked up a National Player of the Year. He's just so damn good. 17 double-doubles on the season.
Yep.
Georgia's now lost 4 in a row. They're 2-9 over their last 11, but you go through their 11, Shane, it's a damn murderer's row. So I think Georgia right now probably out of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Really could have used this win, but they'll have a couple more opportunities to get some resume type wins so that they're not done. So that's just how incredibly deep the SEC is in basketball right now.
Yeah, it is. And that's why we're talking about this being potentially one of the best tournaments in the world. And just because, there's been some SEC tournaments we've gotten into and we're like, yeah, we pretty much see what's going to happen here. Now, there are a couple of surprises and things like that, but this tournament, whether you get buys or not, I think it's important to get buys just so you don't trip up along the way. But this one's going to be an absolute barn burner. I can't wait to get down there, drink some cold beer, eat some hot chicken with you, Cuzzo, and maybe we'll see a couple of cousins while we're in town.
Yeah, Shay don't even know what he's got in front of him. All the hot chicken places I've lined up here in Nashville.
I just ordered a couple bibs. Yeah, I did. Because I've been doing a little prep. I've been doing a little prep on the old hot chicken, and it looks like a messy affair. So
we might have to get you some Pepto as well. All right, hey, how about this one, Shade? Shout out the Sooners. Big win over Mississippi State. 93-87, a top 25 win and they nearly blew this one, but shout out to Jeremiah Fear, Shane, 27 points, 10 assists. He's the first Sooner since Trey Young to hit the 25-10 club. Oklahoma, that really needed this one, and they're not. I think they're out of the NCAA tournament right now. But hell, you just beat number 21 in the country. You start clawing your way back in, and you'll still have more opportunities to impress before we get there. And who knows? I mean, the SEC tournament, you win that thing again. They're certainly not likely to win it, but you go deeper and deeper in the SEC tournament. That's how you play your way into the NCAA tournament. I love that Oklahoma hadn't given up yet on the season.
Yeah, no, there's no give up on any of these teams. Hell, South Carolina, LSU, they're fighting their asses off too. So, I think at the end of the day, Mike, it's again, you can't take your foot off the gas, and I do feel like there's somewhat a little forgiveness, especially when you drop one. But it's a tough one when it's at home. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like it carries a little extra weight. And, when they start doing the bracketing at the end of this thing, it's going to be games like this they're going to look back and judge upon.
Yep. Hey, shout out JR. What a legend. He just gifted another subscription. Don't matter what day. Don't matter if it's raining. Don't matter if it's snowing. JR's here. I'm seeing he gave it to Tim. Tim. Welcome to the family. Thanks to Cousin JR. What a legend, JR. How about this comment, Shane, from Cousin Mike? Cousin Michael. Cousin Shane, I thought you quit ice cold beer. Haha, respect for trying. And then
I did for 30 days.
Shane will never be a quitter, bud.
No, Mama didn't raise no quitter. Yeah. No, I tried to do it for the first month, and honestly, almost made it. I made it to the tail end of that thing, but yeah,
it's a long month,
I know. We got a lot of interviews. We got a cool one with Tyler coming up here a little
plug
bit.
Your interview.
Tyler Siskey. We had him on a couple days ago, so that should be coming out tomorrow, I believe.
Yep.
Really good. Check that out. And we talk all football. We talk Ole Miss. We talk Bama. We talk a little Tennessee. We talk them all, man. And one thing I like about Tyler is just you know, he was a coach and he's in recruiting. He's still in it. I mean, that's what his job is. And we talk a lot of recruit stuff and the good, the bad, and the ugly. But be sure to check that out. He got on to me a little bit for drinking a cold beer at 11 in the morning. But I mean, that's the name of the show. And you know, when in Rome, you know, I can't help they're not drinking. But we had it. He's the one that made it go early. So, but absolutely, it's gonna fun time. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, oh, I can't wait for that. Shane's taking over the channel. It's fantastic.
No. Well, when you get sick, Mike, you know, I know I got to pick up the weight a little bit. So, you know, you're finally coming off. You sound better. Been eating some of that hot chicken yourself?
No, I've been eating salad is what I've been eating. But
me too.
We got the return of some in studio guests coming. So yeah, I've already got one lined up for next week. I'm gonna try to get a couple more. Shane will be coming up, so we'll get people in Nashville too. So a lot to look forward to on the channel. But hey, speaking of Nashville, how about them Commodores? Come on, Shane, 77-72, beat Ole Miss. Vandy's third ranked win of the season. They've all been at home.
Yeah.
And check this out, Shane. I mean, this is how ridiculous life is in the SEC. Ole Miss remaining schedule. They only got a couple games here.
Mm-hmm.
They're at number 1, Auburn. They got Oklahoma. That's their easiest game. Then they got Tennessee coming to town, number 6 Tennessee. Then they're at number 2 Florida. So good luck, Ole Miss, having a winning record the rest of the way. I mean, I think they're firmly in the tournament, but just the point being, this was a tough loss that could spiral you a little bit. But man, Vanderbilt, they're a completely different team at home, and they're like damn world beaters up there.
No storm court that time, you know, so.
They kept them off. They made sure to keep them off this time. You know what?
Oh, I love it. I was at Gates the other day getting on the loudspeaker like, absolutely do not get on this court.
Yep. Okay, so that's all. Right now, that's all the basketball we got. There's still basketball ongoing. Again, we didn't want to go super late. So, but hey, I did want to ask you this before I keep teasing it to the championship weekend. I know you saw this, buddy.
Yeah.
Nebraska, the cowards that started the trend. We're not doing spring games.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what else they ain't doing, Shane? They ain't playing their balls. They bought the series out. And ESPN was reporting both these Tennessee and Nebraska bought their ways out. Shout out Danny White, Dr. Danny. I mean, the guy's a legend. Shane, Tennessee AD. He said, correction here. Tennessee is not canceling this series. Nebraska did. We are very disappointed that they didn't want to play these games, especially being so close to 2026. So again, the Big Ten, they talk a big game, Shane. They've had, one elite team the last 2 years. I'll give them credit for that, even though we all know they cheated their ass off to do it. But this is not, they ain't running the sport when they're running from these damn games. You know what?
We had names for these kids when we were in school. It's like, come on, man. You want to get that big check. You want big boy money. Well, by God, you got to play big boy football, and you can't do it by running away. I mean, we saw this with what's the Oklahoma kid? I try not to say his name. It's like Baltimore or whatever. Beef brisket. Lincoln Riley, he
Tebow.
T-Bow. Is it Tebow or T-Bow? I don't know, but
Tebow.
But yeah, basically he did the same thing and look where it led. It's you can run and you can hide, but eventually they're going to find out your program is absolute trash. When you can't do spring games and you're afraid of SEC opponents, I don't want to hear you 3 years, 5 years from now saying we deserve to be in the college football playoffs because we beat UMass. It's like, no, you had opportunity to schedule games like this and you ran from it. So here we are.
Yep. And then you remember old Alex Golish, right? Tennessee offensive coordinator.
Love to have him back.
Now he's the head coach of South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He saw this. He's shooting a shot. What up, Daddy? He says, sup? Come on, Dad, to the back. So he's trying to get Tennessee, South Florida series together. That wouldn't be a bad consolation, but that's just not, again, we're trying to make his Big Ten SEC, I thought. And then we got one side of him bowing out of these damn games. So again, maybe there's more to this. Maybe there's scheduling changes coming. The SEC certainly looks to be going to a 9-game conference schedule. But yeah, I think that's a perfect segue, Shane, to get into this championship weekend.
Yeah.
So make sure you're. I know
Is it
you're
bad? Is it that bad?
You're sitting down. Otherwise, I wouldn't tell you if you were standing up. I wouldn't tell you because you might fall over.
95% of my day is right here, Mike. So yes.
All right. So again, they've not finalized this. But this is I've seen many people. Pete Nankos on 3. I've seen Seth Emerson, the Athletic, and I think I've seen it. Maybe Ross Dellinger. I mean, these are credible people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're down there. They're talking to these people down in New Orleans. I don't know why the hell we didn't get invited. I mean, I know why, but this is what's on the table, Shane. So we've got. It's been widely reported. SEC and Big Ten, they want 4 guaranteed spots to the playoff, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was under the assumption, as I assure you were, that doesn't mean the SEC can only get 4, because especially if we're expanding this playoff to 14 or possibly even 16, why the hell would we just say, well, we only get 4 when we know the SEC, we could have as many as 5, 6, hell, maybe even 7 or 8 teams that are ranked in the top 14, top 16, whatever it is. Why in the hell would we limit it to 4?
Yeah.
It sounds like they may be doing that. And here's even, this is the part I can't even believe. Like, this feels like it's like April Fool's Day and they're tricking my ass, right?
Yeah.
Instead of the SEC championship, which apparently they may even just hold it. What they're thinking about doing, I got two breakdowns here.
Okay.
They've got a 6-team series, a play-in weekend. So I'm going to throw this up here as I break it down. So this is one of the legitimate things the SEC is thinking of doing. And I'm just using the standings as these teams had last season at the end of the year to simplify all this. They're thinking, so Texas was 1, right?
Yeah.
Playing Georgia, number 2, just like they did in Atlanta, but they're both guaranteed a spot in the college football playoff, and they would essentially be playing for seeding and to get a bye, which is exactly how it went this year. Right. And we basically just bitched about how this game doesn't matter. It's nonsensical. Why are we doing this? But they're like, people hate that. Let's keep at. Now here's where they completely lost me, Shane. They'll say, okay, championship weekend. These teams just went through 9 conference games.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have Tennessee and South Carolina play, number 3 and number 6. And again, I'm just using the final standings. I'm not saying this is, Tennessee's the 3rd best team, South Carolina's 6th. I'm just purely going by the standings. And so the winner of Tennessee, South Carolina gets into the college football playoff. The loser, get your ass, you're done. Alabama, number 4 versus number 5, LSU. The winner gets into the college football playoff. The loser, get the hell out of here. This is something they are legitimately thinking about doing. And I think this is dog shit. What do you think?
So what's the SEC championship thing? Maybe I missed that. So no game at all, right?
No, they still have a game, 1 versus 2. The winner gets a first round bye. The top 2 are in automatically.
Yeah. I get that. So 3 and 6, 4 and 5, they're not going to play.
Yeah, they play, and the winner goes on. The loser is eliminated.
I don't hate it. I mean, we're getting 2 really good games. You know what I'm saying? And what's on the line. There's no bullshit. There's no committee that's going to come out and break your heart in a week or 2. It's you win, you're in. You lose, you're out. But where are the games going to be played? Is it? I guess I'm assuming a home game for, like in this scenario, it'd be Knoxville for the Tennessee South Carolina.
They've not finalized that. They may play them all in Atlanta.
Okay.
They're considering even doing that. And then there's one other, which I think this is even more asinine. They're thinking about doing this. 1 versus 8. So Texas, Ole Miss, number 2, Georgia versus number 7, A&M, number 3, Tennessee, South Carolina, number 6, number 4, Alabama, number 5. So the bottom's the same, but the top, Texas, number 1 versus number 8, number 2 versus 7, same thing. Win, you're in, lose, you're out. So we could have a scenario where Texas goes 9-0 in SEC, and hell, let's just say 12-0.
Yeah,
they could be undefeated, and they're playing 8-4 Ole Miss, and Ole Miss by some miracle beats them. Texas is out.
Yeah, no. I don't like that. That's all you're doing is you're making the ultimate college football playoffs bigger, in my opinion. That's all it is you're just, instead of counting it as round 1 or 2, we're calling it SEC or Big Ten, championships or whatever.
Right.
No, I think if you have a successful season, which is tough to do in the SEC, and you're 1 and 2, you're in. I think that should be the case. I don't necessarily, I don't like pigeonholing myself here, because there's been times when the SEC arguably has 7, 8 of the best, 16 teams in the country.
Right.
It feels like you're going to give up on those years, but there's also years like last year, you could do the opposite, say, well, the SEC probably didn't have 4 that should have been in it, but we would have been in there. We would have had maybe another opportunity or a game that go our way. So, oh man, I don't hate the first scenario. I absolutely despise. Yeah, that one I can get behind, because
let me tell you why it's stupid.
Okay.
For many reasons. One that stands out to me, Alabama and LSU already played.
Yeah.
So was that game just completely irrelevant? What if LSU wins this one on a neutral field? So they're better than Alabama. They get to go to the college football playoff. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's one. 2, I think, again, we maybe they are just going to limit it to 4 SEC.
Yeah.
But I think that's stupid, because in many, many, many years, there's going to be a 5th place team in the SEC that deserves to go to a 14 or 16 playoff. 5 probably deserves to go. 6 probably deserves to go if we're going to 16. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we are eliminating SEC teams that are capable of winning a national championship because they got to face other elite SEC teams. Yeah. I mean, why are we picking each other off when give me, if we're going to, again, I'm not sitting here saying we need to expand the playoff, but they're going to do it because there's more money in it. Why in the hell would we cut our own legs out from ourselves? Get as many as you can in, because that gives you a better shot to win the whole damn thing. This is asinine. How we're just going to say, this is the perfect example. Hell, Ole Miss last year probably could beat Texas. I don't know that they would have, but I think they would have a shot. And we just be eliminating the best team in the regular season. That's stupid. I don't want to see this. I think this is, and again, we're going to 9 games. So now we're going to a 10th SEC game before we even get, for everybody, before we even get to the college football playoff. I mean, where in the hell is someone going to stick up for these players and say, the guys that go through it now are like, good God, I can't go through another game. And we're just saying, well, let's just pile more and more and more SEC games on these guys. I think that is, I think that's asking for a real issue.
Damn, Mike, just when I make a decision, I feel like it's a good one, and then you throw a whole bunch of common sense at me, Mike, and you're right. I don't think we should limit ourselves to 4. The way I was envisioning this was 4 SEC, 4 Big Ten, 2 ACC, 2 Big 12.
Right.
That would leave what, 4 or 2 at large? I'm terrible with math. 2 at large?
Three at large.
So we got 3 at large. Is that true? Is that how that works? So we got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to 14?
Right.
So 4,
and maybe 16.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would be 2 left. And I thought the 2 would be like at large, maybe a G5 or maybe an SEC team that was on the fringe, or a big, not saying this is what it's got to be, but saying, hey, we're going to leave this one open. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And what would be really cool, I guess, in that scenario, if we're just if we have to play an extra game. So can you pull the 6-1 up again? So let's say in this scenario, Texas, Georgia doesn't play. Okay. Because it really doesn't matter.
Right.
Tennessee, South Carolina, Bama, LSU, and then bring in one more, maybe even change the numbers a little bit here to include 7 and 8.
Maybe like South Carolina, Ole Miss.
Yeah. So 8 and 3 would go against 4 and 7 type scenario, and then that way you choose from those groupings of who gets to get the 2 spots, and the other one, the winner is going to be like on the ad one, if you will. So I don't know, man. I obviously they didn't.
I'm like the hangover number guys when you're talking.
Yeah.
Like you're getting crazy over here.
I'm just trying to find a scenario where it's like you said, when the college football playoffs expanded to 4, even one of the biggest worries that folks had was that the regular season games wouldn't mean much.
Yeah.
And I would argue that I didn't see any of that this year.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you start guaranteeing spots, when you start, playing extra games over, it feels like that, on the other hand, could diminish the regular season. And that's ultimately what I don't want. I would like to watch 12 really good football games. I would love to watch 9 SECs. I think that'd be fun. I think mixing in a Big Ten would be fun, would be exciting. We could talk about it. But when you start picking and choosing, I would almost rather there not be a plus game. Have the SEC championship with Georgia and Texas in this scenario and leave the rest. Have the committee pick the 2 other SEC teams that are going to represent in the conference. Don't do extra games that possibly or most likely will be repeats of games we've already seen early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as much as I loved going to the SEC championship, Mike, I wasn't as excited the second go round to see Texas and Georgia play. I would have been even less excited probably to see it for a third time. It's like, don't overfeed us, or you'll prime example.
Here's the only way I would like this championship weekend, they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't do it.
Yeah.
Instead of this madness, give me SEC versus Big Ten in every damn game.
Yeah.
And the winner goes on to the playoff. Because I think the SEC is going to win more of those than not.
They're not going to agree to it, though.
I know it. But again, SEC knocking each other off is foolish.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why in the hell they would even think this. I'll tell you why. Because they're sitting here and they're telling ESPN or whoever, look at these games. Look at this. Who don't you want to watch? Georgia A&M? Don't you want to watch Texas, Ole Miss? Did you see how many million people watch Alabama, LSU? Guess how many are going to watch it if it's a playoff game? You know what I mean? Which again, not to be old man yelling at the sky or whatever, but that's all this is. This is a play to get more money, and it's nonsensical. It's the playoff before the playoff. And we're just knocking each other off. I mean, I think that's the stupidest thing the SEC could possibly do.
Now, you did mention this is all football, right? They don't plan on doing this with basketball or other sports or anything like that.
Just football.
Yeah. I just don't like it, man. I'm sorry. I am the old man yelling at the sky because I could get behind the 12. The only thing I didn't like about the 12 was the committee. And I just don't like that word guarantee. I feel like that's a cheap way out, man. That's like playing a game that you can't lose. And I don't like that. That takes away from the fun of the sport. And if you have an expansion, maybe you put in there that, maybe you take the priority of I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but I'm pretty damn sure they're going to mess it up.
And I didn't realize this at all, that if they're going to say guarantee 4, that it meant only 4.
Yeah.
I'm totally opposed to that. Because hell, I mean, it'll never happen in the Big Ten, but even if it is Big Ten, but really, if I'm looking at the SEC, there's going to be many, many years where if this is a 14-team playoff, and hell, even we could just say 12, because that's what it is, there's going to be more tthan 4 teams that belong in the top 12.
Yeah.
It wasn't this year. That's, we were not, despite what people think, I remember you were politicking pretty hard for Alabama, but I wasn't. I said it should have been South Carolina. But the point is, the fact that we were having these arguments, there was not really a 4th team that was like, they got to be in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But more often than not, there's gonna be that 4th team, and really, I think more often than not, there's gonna be a 5th to a 6th team that deserves to be in over the 2nd place Big 12 team, the 2nd place ACC team.
What if you went 4 locked in, and one of the at-larges is whoever's 5th in the Big 10, whoever's 5th in the SEC plays before the game. Yeah, but that's a play-in. Yeah,
I'm down for that.
Yeah, that would make sense. And then you got the other one. You could take, maybe one of the ACC teams that got left out, or just have the committee delegate who that other game is, and we could have two games that are play-ins.
How about this comment from Cousin Haywood? Cousin Shane needs to be a sideline reporter. Ask the tough questions to the coaches, like where the hell we eating after the
game? Could you imagine Kirby Smart trying to get off the football field, and I'm asking him the quickest way to Applebee's?
But man, as soon as I found this out, I was like, we got to talk about this.
I think the worst sideline reporting thing is that 3rd to 4th quarter questioning. Like in the middle of the football game, you get somebody down there. The coach, I mean, I can only imagine the million stuff that's going around in coach's mind. And there's Rowe on the sideline, like, what did you
do? Man, all this playoff weekend stuff. You know what it's making me realize what I need to just fix my feelings, fix my head, get my head straight, so to speak.
What?
Cornbread hemp. Come on, back for another week. If you haven't already, check out cornbreadhemp.com/SEC. Get 30% off your first order. What is this cornbread hemp, you may be asking? This is fully legal THC and CBD. So it's a great small business out of the state of Kentucky. We like them because they're small, independent business like us, Shane. And this is all products have been third-party lab tested and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity. And they have outstanding CBD sleep gummies. They help me sleep like a baby. I think Shane was probably on some of that when he was down at Dizzy, because I heard he was sleeping good. So again, that's cornbreadhemp.com/SEC at the checkout. Put in that promo code SEC for 30% off your first order over at Cornbread Hemp. You will not be disappointed. They even sent me a little mug, Shane, because I liked it so much. Oh, yeah.
Dang, I didn't get that. Got a couple emails from him, but I didn't get that.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm speechless, Shane. I have no more speech about how much I hate this damn thing. And if we go to this is going to be a travesty.
Trash. What does this thing conclude? When are we going to have real answers here? Or is this a thing like, we're not leaving this room until we have an agreement? Is it like one of those, or is it, hey, if we don't have it by Monday, we'll kick it back to next season?
Well, no, see, they were down there so it was the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah. Is it done? Is it finished, concluded?
Well, it's just a meeting. So they went down there. They're trying to formalize what's the playoff going to look like. And they're trying to make these decisions together.
Mm-hmm.
Whether to go to 9 games. Big Ten's already at 9 games. So that's a big reason why SEC, I think, is going to go to 9 games. They want it to be uniform, right?
Yeah.
And this was apparently the Big Ten's idea to do all this nonsense, of course. Yeah. And then the SEC is, if the Big Ten's going to do it, I think the SEC is going to do it just to be uniform. Again, I hope they don't, but they've got to figure out 9 conference games. They got to figure a lot of this stuff out. So it'll probably be at the spring meetings, which hopefully we'll be at when we'll get some kind of clarity on all this.
So yeah, that's not an answer then. It's not a good enough answer, Mike. That's one of the things I don't like about the report. Shit, Mike, we're in media and we're just going off little crumbs that are dropped by big outlets. And it's like, why can't we have a briefing after every day? Why can't you come out and say, hey, this is what we're discussing. This is what we're shooting for. This is our side. This is their side. Just kind of give us a little. They do it with the coaches in down in Florida. They do it a lot of times with the SEC media. Well, of course, we're there. We send out all kinds of content. But I don't know. I just hate that there's all this. I mean, it's going to change the landscape of college football forever. And we're just getting these little nuggets, man.
TMZ their ass, Shane.
I'm going down there. I'm going with like an extra large mic. We want answers.
Yeah. So again, this is, sometimes they let this stuff out.
Yeah.
Just so people, they want to see the reaction. So hopefully
they're watching the show saying, it's like, damn, we shouldn't have put that one out there.
Write your congressman or whatever they say, don't let them do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man. Oh shit. Well, season ain't even started. We're already talking about how it's ending. So yeah. But we got wonderful basketball. We got a couple more games tonight. So I'm looking forward to that, Mike. And I appreciate you giving me the scoop, if you will.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, a little bit of a short one, but a little Saturday night. We're going to get off here, watch some basketball. Anything else before we wrap it up, buddy?
No, don't forget. Got a pretty cool interview hitting tomorrow, so check that out. Have your notification on as soon as it goes up. You will be notified, and any thumbs up would be appreciated. So other than that, Mike, I've got nothing.
All right. And Marler and I will be on tomorrow, another live show for his latest SEC basketball power rank. I can't tell you, Shane, how many times I tweet this out, and even in the YouTube comment, people on YouTube, they seem to be their analysis, their comments are generally a little bit better than Twitter, but they're all uniform. They're like, Mike, these rankings are dog shit, and I'm like, it's got his name all over it. You know what I mean? These are his rankings. I just tear them apart. But so he'll be back. I'll tear him down for another hour tomorrow to break this all down. And then, like Shane said, we'll have the show Sunday night. So we got a double header for you guys all Sunday. But hey, that's all I got, buddy.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols.
Hey, buddy, this beer's for you, Mike, and Cousin Shane. That SEC podcast loves the Pirate, and the Pirate loves that SEC podcast. Hail State.